Hello, all you strange dears. It's Juliana. I am at a rest station somewhere on I-95. I'm either in Delaware or New Jersey. I should have checked before I pulled over. Hey, Sean. Let me bring Sean on now since you are clean shaven.
I know, I know. Well, I figured, from for my public. But you're on the road. What is?
Yeah, I'm coming from one gig, going to auditions tomorrow in the city. So just kind of, and with this weather, travel plans have been a little insane. But what are you rehearsing for? Can you
We
share,
can
or is it a secret?
maybe kind of. Yes, I can totally. Once Upon a Mattress.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. At Cranford?
Yes, yes, it's CDC Theater, Cranford Dramatic. And yeah, I did like several kind of dark shows in a row, so I was like, I need something a little with some, so this fits the bill very nicely, and
Okay,
it's a fun
so
show.
are you in this or are you directing this?
I am in this one. Yeah.
Okay, not directing.
Yes, yes. I think for my mental state, I can really only direct one thing a year max, just
Yeah.
because like
Yep.
it takes over your entire life. Like I never
Yes.
remembered. So yeah.
Yeah. In a very different way.
Yeah. Yeah, more so than if I'm in a show. Like I was like I want the nice relaxing I'm just in a show
Yeah.
for a while.
I only be responsible for yourself, and
Right.
you know, if other people are messing up, it's not your problem.
Yeah.
You can
Get it
still
together.
sleep at night.
Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, so
awesome.
this is a really fun one. So yeah.
And this is a makeup rehearsal because of all the crazy weather.
Yes, yeah, we had to cancel Tuesday, and we've already missed another day last week. So it's the show this slot always like gets the short shrift just because it's always fun with the weather. So
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I will try to be brief
oh
tonight,
please,
and we'll
please
like
they are
hit
well
on all.
aware. This is a makeup
Okay.
rehearsal, and so
Oh, okay, good, good, good. All right, well, let's take an hour. No. So I texted you with you about the topic for tonight.
right.
Being we wanted to tie it into our episode number 4 that's dropping.
Hmm.
We're so young in our podcasting web series journey. It's so much fun. The overall theme is how fiction intersects and influences the rest of our life,
Hmm.
even if it's for a moment or our entire life. And this 4th episode ended up being a lot more intimate than we
Hmm.
had anticipated it being, because we ended up talking about our childhoods
Right.
and the things that really influenced what we cared about
Hmm.
growing up, and as adults, like how it's influenced our taste. And so that discussion ended up going places that we didn't really expect it to go, even as we were prepared. So I did pose the question, I did let you in on the big
Hmm.
question tonight.
Right.
I asked Sean if he could talk a little bit about a book or play. I said we could expand it, a book or play or some kind of work of fiction that influenced you as a kid. So before you tell us your selection,
Hmm.
what what age range are you when you around your discovery of this thing you're going to tell us about?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, were you asking how old I am?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes. How old are you? And how old can you play?
39. Yes. Yes. I can still play 18.
Yes, you can all day.
Uh,
Especially
all right.
clean
So,
shaven like that.
yeah, right. And when I've, just had a little bit of refreshment. So I think if I remember correctly, I'm this particular book, and actually it's a set of books. I was like 4 or 5-ish. So like my
Oh,
reading skills were not a super high level. So that's why I'm the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, this is exactly because I'll explain. But yeah, that's the age.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is 4 or 5 year old Sean like?
Oh gosh.
Or was he Sean or was he Eugene?
Yeah, it was probably both. It depends on
Okay.
who in my family we were talking with.
Okay.
If I was in
Okay.
trouble, it was all three names. But yeah, it was really Sean G.
Okay.
All kind of elided together because it was the South. But yeah, I grew up in rural Virginia. I had a Southern accent that was
You
beaten out of
did.
me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For like once I got into theater, yeah,
Ah.
that was excised. But
Huh.
but then, so yeah, I had long strawberry blonde hair that my mother refused to cut. Yep. Yeah, and like there's little bits of like the red is now gray, like little bit. So that's where the red was as I got older. But yeah, long strawberry blonde hair. Apparently, I never learned to walk. I ran everywhere.
Oh,
According to people in my family, like I never stopped. So apparently, I had a lot of energy. Um, yeah, and I was not a good sleeper. So there was a rule in my family that I couldn't. I had to. If I woke up early, I had to stay in my room.
yeah.
So,
I
which
like that rule.
I didn't have to like keep the lights out or anything. I didn't have to stay in bed. I didn't have to go back to sleep, but I had to stay in my room because yeah, I would like wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and
Oh my God.
yeah. So you know, so then, and actually, this set of books was one of the things that was my go-to. So that's why like it really sticks out in my head.
So tell me what it is.
I, it was a set of books that we got, my sister and I got for Christmas, but they stayed in my room. And it was
Okay.
The Wonderful World of Disney, and it was a 4-book set. And it was America, it was fantasy, it was
I had this. I know
yes,
exactly what you're
yes,
talking about. They're like this thick, like two or
yes,
three inches thick. Yes.
yep. And it
Yep.
comes in a box,
Yep.
and it had like a red,
Yes.
yes, that one. Yep.
100% have it
I
at my parents' house.
I read well. I rescued it from my parents' house because like I have to have it because it was such
Yeah.
such a like and once I started paging through, I'm like they're so burned in my brain.
Yeah.
And even though my like 4 years old, my language skills were not that advanced. I'm sure we're already reading at a college level, but
Yes,
I
for
was like
sure.
yeah, right. But like like I went back through it and I'm like, oh my god, I remember this picture. I remember this illustration. I
Yeah.
looked at these a bazillion times, and
Mm.
as my language skills grew and I could read better, I could read some of the stories. Some of them I didn't care for, but some of them like I didn't read until I was much older. But like the fantasy, like they used a lot of the illustrations from Mary Blair.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
some of the little golden book Disney illustrations are in there, and some
Hmm.
of them I remember seeing like on the Wonderful World of Disney on Sunday nights. And so I would watch that,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, hey, I have this in this book. And so I kind of knew the story, even if I didn't know all the words and couldn't read it to myself. But yeah, that book and that set of books, I went through a bazillion times. And yeah, some of those
Huh.
stories are just like totally emblazoned in my memory, in my psyche. And I think
Wow.
that's where a lot of like the early storytelling um, knowledge comes from. It's like it's few people write stories as well as Disney did in the golden era of Disney. Like they were
Yeah.
really well constructed
Yeah.
stories. So I think that's where the storytelling piece got like written in the back of my brain. So
In this, if I'm remembering correctly, it's both nonfiction and fiction,
yes,
right?
yep. Yeah, there's one that's wildlife, I think. I looked it
Yep.
up before tonight, but yeah, it's like
Oh,
wildlife, America, uh,
yeah.
fantasy, and there's one other. Um, I'm blanking out what the other one was, but yeah, but the wildlife was a lot of like nature, like
Yeah.
those Disney nature films that
Yep.
would show like
Yes.
it'd show 101 Dalmatians, and there'd always be a short subject that was lemmings or something like that. So yeah, so that's what
Wow.
a lot of the nature ones are, and then the America ones are
I
mostly
remember the America one really well for
yeah.
some reason. That sticks out in my memory.
That was never my
How
favorite.
fascinating.
I always loved the fantasy one the most.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, especially
Yeah.
the Babes in Toyland one. I read the Babes in Toyland section a bazillion times.
His story, though, like when you think about it as an adult,
Yes, yeah, the Crooked Man. Yeah, yeah, the
I
Crooked
mean,
Man.
really
Yeah, he's
bizarrely frightening.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. The Crooked Man's going to force Little Bo Peep to marry him. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, that it's like child catcher scary level. Yeah, yeah, from Mary Poppins, not Mary Poppins.
It is. I mean, a lot
Baby,
of Disney is like that.
yeah.
In fact, can I talk about it in this episode? It's funny you bring it up because we do speak specifically about like Bambi and like the real life that we're exposed to in Disney, especially in that kind of mid-century era.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They were like shock of reality to I think a lot of us.
yeah. I can't remember who the writer was, but I read. I think like, they think his theory was at the time that Disney always put like one character death or something that you think the character dies, but they're actually okay. You find out, or that they put one of those in each story, so that parents could tell if their kids were normal. Because if they not really, it was a joke, but just that
Yeah,
if your kid reacted normally to Bambi's mom getting shot,
but
you
he's
knew
not a
your kid.
psychopath.
Yes, yes, yes. As
Yeah, you're
opposed to,
doing your
yeah,
job.
if your kid, stood up and applauded, it might be you might want to talk to someone. But yeah, a lot of those Disney films kind of like formulaically have one character that either dies, gets very sick, or you think dies, or disappears, and like it was part of the formula.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh,
So,
sorry, spoiler alert. So,
oh, yeah. No, it's funny though, like when I think about the Disney movies that are coming out now as opposed to the ones that came out like pre 80s.
mhm.
They were a lot more intense when it comes to death, especially, I
Yeah.
feel like.
Oh yeah, yeah. There was. It felt like there was actual peril. I don't know if you've ever watched The
Yeah.
Rescuers.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
The Rescuers.
absolutely.
Dark. The original Rescuers is really, really dark with Penny the orphan, who's adopted so that she can get this diamond. And so the
Yes.
woman lowers her down in the well. Like it
Yes.
is that
I
is
know. The
dark.
well.
And there's a fantastic scene where Madame Medusa, I think her name, is she's like taking off her false eyelashes. This is
Oh, that's
really
so good. You
this
look
is
just
really
like
good
her.
podcast. But anyway, like it's like dark and gritty, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the first Disney films I remember seeing as a kid, and I had
Oh
like
my
the little
God.
golden book as well. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that era, like there was post Cinderella, once they were going into 101 Dalmatians is kind of
Mm-hmm.
dark and sketchy in places. Aristocats, and then yeah, it's like yeah, and Rescuers really creepy. Rescuers. I mean, that's it.
Shorthand for it.
You
So
know
when does
exactly.
theater happen for you?
I'm sorry.
So when does theater happen for you?
Theater happened for me really like I did school plays, but
Mm.
it really happened for me when I was 12. Uh, I had a teacher who like really was phenomenal and recognized something in me and talked to my parents about like getting me involved with a couple of the theaters that were in the area. And I went and auditioned for Peter Pan,
Mm-hmm.
and I was one of the Lost Boys. It was my first professional gig, and it was another like transformative kind of experience that like I still remember it super vividly. We went down to sign the paperwork. My dad took me down to sign the paperwork, and the director was there, and he said, "Do you want to see the set?" And sure, I don't know what that means, but sure. And so he took me down. They were building the set, and it was a wonderful equity house called Mill Mountain Theater that since closed. It's now reopened, but brilliant place at the time. And they had an incredible scene shop there, and they're building like huge like hills and rocks and things, and where like Peter Pan's hideout is, like the rocks open and we can like slide down, and like the tree had a
Wow.
door in it, and there's the mushroom that's the smokestack, and it was the cool. And he just like yeah, they hadn't painted it yet, so but like they're letting me climb around on it,
Oh my
and
gosh.
so for the next couple of months. Um, like I got to play in Wonderland, and we had
Yeah.
big imaginary animals. We had a an ostrich, a kangaroo, and something else. Oh, tiger, and it's Peter Pan, and
Which
it
was
was
probably in the fantasy
yeah,
anthology,
it
right?
probably is. I should go back and look. Yeah, it probably is. But yeah, that
Probably
was
on the cover.
it. I'm sure it's in the end paper. I'm sure that Peter Pan is in the end paper. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dopey is on the spine. I know that. Uh,
I love it.
so yeah, so yeah, that was like the first thing I did, and then I had such a blast. And
Mm.
that's a great show. It's a solid show. Music is beautiful. There's some like forgotten classics that are in that particular show. And then they were doing Music Man that summer, and they already liked me, so they signed me up to be in that. And that was my second professional gig. And then I just
Wow.
like kept on and kept on and kept on, and
Amazing.
until today.
And this is the end. This is your
And
big
then,
announcement.
and yeah, so this is my farewell. No, no.
Um, so,
Go ahead.
besides Once Upon a Mattress, what else is on your to-do list?
Hmm. I don't have much lined up that I know of. There's some aerial things out there the only thing that I'm for sure doing is next season at CDC. I'm directing one of my favorite shows, which is Forever Plaid. Um,
Oh my gosh, how great.
I adore that. I've been fortunate enough to do that show a lot. Back when every theater used to do that show, it became my bread and butter. And so, like, I'm thrilled to be able to direct it finally. And the arrangements are so beautiful in that show, and it's truly a show that's like a Valentine to music.
Yeah.
And those kind of like amazing guy group tight harmony singing.
Yep.
uh, so I'm thrilled. That's not until February of next year. So I have a little
Okay.
time. I'm going to
Yeah.
try and squeeze some other stuff in there, but I'm not sure what yet.
That's awesome. Well, so is there anything else you want to plug besides Once Upon a Mattress at
That's
CDC?
that's that's the main thing. Oh wait, hold on. I did remember. I do have one thing I forgot to mention. I'm not sure if you're aware of my 2017 Perry Award for Venus and Fur. I just happened to be here at the theater. I don't know. I didn't bring it special or anything.
So for those of you, and there's going to be a replay of this, how I know Sean is from Venus and Fur, and I just, that show was such a big deal to me.
Yeah, it was a big deal
Every time
before
we
we
see each
did it.
other, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we did it together. Every time we see each other, we're like, we want to do it again. Um, uh, it was such a short period of time
Yeah.
between even casting and
Mhm.
going up. We had a short rehearsal period.
Yep.
I mean, not like unusually short, but it's like a month,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
But one of the things that was so amazing about it is, as soon as I saw the audition notice and I was like, oh my God, that's a role, I want to do that
Right.
thing, and never knew you before. I didn't know Kairos.
Yep.
Um, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, same. So
Yeah.
we did not meet until callbacks.
Right.
And I think everyone that was called back read with everyone that was called back,
Yes.
right? It was a
Yes.
small group, and it's a two-person play.
Hmm.
So, even I think like I think there were 5 of us or 6 of us there
Yeah.
at callbacks, and we all like kind of got to know each other, and like
Yeah.
I stay in touch with the other people that were in callbacks actually, because it's that kind of show too. You got to
Yeah.
kind of break down any trust issues you have
Yeah.
to be able to do it. But when I read with you, I was like, this feels like a rehearsal
Mm.
and not an audition. Like, I feel like I'm working here. I feel like I'm
Right.
experimenting. I feel like I just feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And I remember getting, Kai's calling back and said, who did you feel comfortable with?
Hmm.
Whatever. And I was like, Sean. I mean, I felt comfortable with everybody, but I
Right.
was
Right.
like, it felt really great with Sean.
Hmm.
I
I
just
get that a
really
lot. Yeah.
trusted. I'm sure you too. But that show is such a big deal to me as
Yeah.
a woman to do that, and I don't know that I could um be that expressive and vulnerable with myself without somebody like
Oh,
you
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to play against. It's just such a great experience.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
all 100, everybody was fantastic. The production company
yeah.
was great. You guys were great. Um, and I meant when I said that when I got the Barry, I was like really only a percentage of this is mine because it's a two-person play, and like it was such an amazing experience, and one that like it was like I hope to God we can recreate it to some degree at
Yeah.
some point.
Come
Uh,
on, universe. Come on, directors and
no,
producers out there.
yes, we're ready. We are ready.
So,
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that show required a ton of trust, and like
yeah.
I don't know, I don't it's like have very few experiences, and I've done this for many years. I don't have many
Save
experiences
it
that
back. Save it back.
yeah, right. I don't have many experiences that I can say were of that level of trust, and that the work was of such a super high level. And I do tell people one of my favorite things about that experience was the fact that you would be explaining like the literary references that I had no clue about, and then I'd like, oh well, there's this story about Barbara Streisand that I think that I was
Yeah,
referring to. So,
that I didn't
so I'm
know.
explaining the musical theater references. Well,
I know.
you're like telling me about William. You're telling me about his widow's response book. I'm like, I had no idea that was a thing. That anyway. I'm sure we've
When
lost
two
people.
nerds get together and do a show.
Uh,
But good stuff. Well, thank you. It's so good to see you. See
likewise,
you.
like yes. Drive safe.
Cannot wait to see you again. Who knows when that will happen? But I would love to come see you in Once Upon a Mattress. Everybody go see that if you're anywhere near Cranford. That's a good place. You got a nice relationship with them.
Yeah, it's such a great theater. Like they do really nice work here. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
happy to be part of it.
yeah.
Yay.
Thank you so much. I'll let you get back to rehearsal.
My
I've
pleasure.
got an episode to hit public
Yay.
on. So everyone check it out. Oh,
Will do.
check it out in podcast form. I look horrible in this one. Just so you know, it's the worst camera angle
Not
ever.
possible. Not
I'm the
possible.
most vain person ever. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So this might be a good opportunity. If you haven't tried the podcast version of Strange But True Dare, this is the perfect episode to do it in. Anyway, it's really intimate. We go into some personal things, and I hope you enjoy it. Sean, thank you so much,
My
and we'll talk
pleasure.
soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.